Alright, we should be back now, and welcome to the storyboard figure drawing class. We are going to be continuing with stuff we did last week. If this is your first time here, if you missed last week, or whatever, that's okay. You can do this exercise too, but do be aware that some of the stuff that we're going to be doing tonight builds off of what we're going to be doing this session. But for this warm up right now, we're just gonna do like a free pose session where you can draw whatever for your warm ups for 20 minutes. So okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and we're starting now.
Okay, Google, add 30 seconds to timer. Okay, Google, add 30. Never mind. So anyway, I'm just gonna do like some plain.
According to Wikipedia.
Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, stop. So I'm gonna be doing some like.
Alright, I cancelled it. Alright, consider it cancelled.
Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timers set at the moment.
What the hell? Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Good God, I swear you're the death of me, Google. It's first pose, yeah, we're just getting started now. So I'm doing like the Glenn Villepeu method of like starting with like kind of a simple head, this kind of egg-shaped cranial thing with a little lips in it to show the direction that it's tilted. Sort of 3 gestural lines for the body with like tips of the tilts of the hips and the shoulders if that's applicable, and then simple gestural legs and arms. It's just simple warm-up stuff. I'm choosing to draw like this for this warm-up. I think 2 minutes might be a bit long for these though. So I may go to ones. Let's do that actually. I'm going to change it to ones. We should be doing ones because tonight we're going to be doing a lot of 30-second poses. So maybe starting with some quick ones might be a good idea. So you don't have enough time to make a pretty drawing with these. You're trying to get an impression of an idea. Like try to describe what you're seeing the pose do in a few lines, basically. So this is a mega post of a lot of gymnastics stuff that somebody shared. Kind of worry that we may overdo it on that subject, so I'm hoping we'll be able to get some variety of some other things. So during one of the breaks I may actually yoink a bunch of stuff from the internet that might give us some more variety. Yesterday we met up in my Discord for basically essentially what we're going to be doing today. Like the method and approach that we're going to be taking. This is not the method that we're going to be using this evening, but don't worry, I'll be demonstrating what it is we're going to be doing after this set. It should be something that even newcomers would be able to do too. What we're going to do. I think I gotta find some other music than just home resonance on 10-hour loop. So one thing I did say is like if we might get into character drawing tonight, so I hope you guys brought, and this will be an optional thing for us to do. Hope you guys brought some character reference of some kind for a character that you wanted to draw. When we draw them, you'll be doing like a storyboarding shorthand version of them. It's an optional thing, like we may not get to it tonight. Some pretty fantastic torso twists on these. You can use this as an opportunity to practice the bow and the arrow approach to torso bends. Bow and the arrow being there's like a stretch side that's more on the torso that's like more kind of like a bow, and like an arrow side which is the compressed side of the torso that kind of angles inward like that. It's a way of simplifying how the torso works. Turning like the structures of the body into simple symbols. There's definitely a lot of that going on in these. In fact, I'm going to maybe concentrate on some of the bow and the arrow a bit to show you guys what I'm talking about. Because this was something that you might want to pay attention to for when we get into the thing that we're going to be doing tonight. So there we go, like there's the bow, and then there's the arrow, basically, of the torso. You can use that for like finding very abstract, exaggerated shape. So when we do get into stuff this evening, we're going to be using some of the line of action type stuff that we were doing last week. That will be informing some of what we do tonight. Fortunately, it's an exercise that even if you missed the line of action week, you can still kind of practice what we're doing today because it's all about very simple shapes. Not too out of the ballpark of the thing I just drew now. It is interesting how tangled these gymnasts get in with their poses, but like we want to draw some casual poses too, and like poses that aren't just like gymnastics poses as well, like action poses and other things. We want to get like a good variety of poses that say different expressions and emotions and other things, if we can. So I may try to throw together during the 5 or 10 minute break. I'll try to yoink a bunch of stuff from Pinterest or whatever that might help with that. I think we do have a bunch of yoinks from the reference hunters section, but I mean these are still fantastic. There's like over 1,000 images in this folder, but I mean it's all one particular subject, so. And we want, for tonight's class, we definitely want some variety. It is fun looking for like the really kind of abstract line of action of certain limbs and how they flow through the body. So I wanted to get to more of the homework today, but I wound up just having to get like a bunch of naps in because I had a rough night's sleep last night. But we'll be working on getting some homework time in tomorrow on Thursday. We'll be doing some more figure drawing sets in my Discord tomorrow, in addition to working on homework stuff.
Are we going to be able to get some feedback on what we have so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, this is just
Like
warm-ups.
later?
This is just warm-ups, but I'm not too interested in giving feedback for the warm-ups because like you're just trying to get the kinks out of your system right now.
Sorry, no, I was referring to the what we have for the assignment.
Oh, the assignment.
story.
Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that off Discord tomorrow. It'll be like I'll be able to like give people like kind of a off Discord free feedback thing, so I kind of get like a little bit more keyed in, so I can give people more of a heading before they come into class and stuff if they show up tomorrow. And also I have to do some more work on my take on the homework right now. Like I've only done like the first part of it. But that's okay. I designed the homework so that it's modular. You can put in as much time into it as you want. You can do multiple versions of it, and so on. In my case, I've had to prioritize some other things throughout this week, so I'll be able to get to it tomorrow. But the real meat and potatoes of what we're going to be going for is like after this, there's going to be some more specific assignments of developing an idea or a project that you're working on. And we'll be getting into that on Saturday. Like I want people to take the pitch that they gave, and of course with the feedback on the pitch, that's part of the assignment. Will be, or like this next week's assignment will be we'll be taking feedback on like what you did on the first homework assignment, making corrections and fixes there. Because I told people to do thumbnails and stuff. But now I'm gonna have people do like actual like developed storyboard panels and use the feedback that I gave them and stuff. But like I want people to start organizing their ideas for their storyboard, for like their storytelling project that they want to make. There are some pretty wild poses. Not to get political, but I've been kind of overdosing on copium tears of like the QAnon dumbasses lately. Like the people who are like, there's like mixed emotions of like, some of them are kind of realizing, oh, it was all a fucking lie all along. It was just some douchebag on the internet making shit up to rile us up. And Q was never really a real person or something. And it's a mix of that and a mix of people who are like still like desperately trying to cling to the delusion and shit. But like they're like really rattled. There's people that like devoted years of their life to this fucking insane conspiracy theory. It's so pathetic. Meanwhile, like, the actual evil that, like, our government does is, like, right in plain... Our government and, like, corporations and stuff do is, like, right in plain sight. Like, the Panama Papers. Anyone can go and read the Panama Papers and see what corporations do to us, what corporations and governments do to us. But these fucking idiots wanted to, like, live out the fantasy of a Dan Brown novel or something. Anyway. I mean, it's always fun when, like, delusional people, like, have to reconcile with reality catching up to them. And the reality is that the election was not stolen. Joe Biden is now our president. And these idiots have to deal with that fact. They either have to deal with that fact or they have to continue to retreat into more insane delusion. Which some of them are, but for a lot of them, a surprising number of them lately actually have been so shaken that they're leaving. Cute, but it's really hilarious because, like, some of the posts I've seen from some of them have been like, they're like trying to, like, say, oh, Trump was always controlled opposition the whole time. It was always this GQ was always just a ruse to distract conservative. No, it's not anything that clever. It's just some moron who made shit up and got attention for it and kept going with it. That's all it is. It was never like a psyop or any shit. Like, you have the worst fucking judgment in the world in the first place to even get involved in the QAnon conspiracy theory. I think you might want to give it a rest, buddy. You know? It's like a guy who's, like, gotten drunk and, like, crashed his car, who then suddenly becomes, like, an expert on, like, automobile safety or something. It's when he's talking to the cops or something around his wreck. It's fucking pathetic. Anyway. Now we'd have to deal with COVID. Anyway, so getting back to this. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 3 minutes and 39 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but did anyone ever consider that the lizard people are actually the good guys that are trying to save us? See, I mean, you can make any dumb shit up. Actually, no, there are people who think the lizard people are the good guys that are trying to save us. Like aliens, conspiracy theory shit. Like people who claim that they've, like, that they have a reptilian wife or something on a starship or some shit. I don't know. People are fucking delusional people, man. Come on. It's really sad whenever you run into, like, someone who's just, like, lost in delusion. It's I mean, it's one thing to have, like, ideological differences or to be, like, short-sighted or not fully understand how the world works, but I mean, these are people who, like, proactively, like, make themselves ignorant. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, there are ways to, like, deprogram and reach some of them in some circumstances, but there's a lot of them where it's, like, practically incentivized for them to, like, stay in delusions. It sucks. Very, like, the psychology of cults and shit, you know? I mean, those people are clowns, but it's kind of like, a clown that has a gun or a clown that has like a sledgehammer that he's going to bash your brains in with is a clown that is a little hard to laugh at when they're like a clear and present danger to you. You know, like when a clown holds like let's say like the highest office in the land of the free world and has the power of life and death and stuff, like can like ruin tons of people's lives. It's a little bit harder to laugh at them. But when they're out of power and exiled and stuff, it's a little bit easier to breathe. Yeah, I'm friends with the lizard people. The thing about the lizard people is they've never visited Earth because they took one look at Earth and they're like, no, fuck no. So anyone who claims that they've been visited by the lizard people, or that they know which of the human beings have been infiltrated by the lizard people, is just lying. The lizard people are too smart to deal with an insane place of morons, full of morons like planet Earth. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, so, we're gonna go on a 10-minute break, and I'm gonna be yoinking stuff from Pinterest for our next set. Okay, Google, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and that's starting now.
So I'm gonna grab the PureF app, then let's see here. Let's bring up Pinterest. If we can find, like, I think there's a bunch of stuff of this guy, for example. If we can find like multiple poses of the same model for a lot of this, then that's even better. Is some stock stuff. See more. Stock. Female stock, male stock, stock packages. Are these all free, though, is the question. I don't know. Well, I'll just go on Pinterest. Fuck it. It's very nice. I'll get a bunch of suit of armor. Let's maybe make tonight's theme medieval weapons and armor. If we can, like these people here, for example. Even Geralt. Well, I'm very pissed at CD Projekt Red right now, so we won't be using Geralto. Oh, that's a CG art of Kratos. That's definitely usable. A fancy lad right there. Maybe we'll throw him in the mix. Some athletics. There's Evlis. Alright, let's see if we can find some other mix. That's a good pose. Use that. It's a nice standing pose. We'll get some casual poses in there too, in addition to like more kind of expressive ones. Wow. Okay, let's see. There's male combat fatigues. Some more poses here. Oh, from the rear. That's good. These are very small. That's better. I'll get like a mix of like whatever looks like would be good to draw. Seated pose, costume, gunslinger lady. That looks good. Let's do that. Some nice poses. That's cool. Fencing. Oh, the Westworld image here. Some of these are images that I know we've drawn before. Like I know we've drawn this one in some of the other classes. It's a very nice John Marston cosplay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna change the music from Home Resonance to something else. Royalty-free radio. Let's see. That might. Yeah, there we go. This is royalty-free. That might work. Press F for Rivalto. Samurai girl there, or samurai schoolgirl. And this guy's good. You and Kim in there. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 4 minutes and 37 seconds left.
Cool, we got plenty of time. So you get like plenty of yoinks for the evening. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making the pose set non-random. We just got to make sure that we have enough to go through this a few times, I would say. And you'll see why. I'll explain why actually before we get started. I'm going to do a little demonstration of what the technique is, and then I'll give you enough information for you guys to get started on yours. We'll probably do like, we'll see if we can do two sets of it. That will be like 4 figure drawing sessions total of it. The first one will be the demo set where you can follow along. But I'll be demonstrating how the technique works, and then they would be basically like we do the shapes once, and then we draw over the shapes for the session, and then we do the shapes once, and then we draw over the shapes. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But it also necessitates that we need non-random image pools to pull from. I'm just trying to give myself enough buffer room. Oh, that's a nice pose, actually. Even though that is a drawn image, that's a nice pose to riff on. I think that one's Witcher cosplay. Again, very mad at CD Projekt Red right now. They are in the doghouse, as far as I'm concerned. For me.
What happened?
They've done very bad. I mean, they supposedly apologized, but then they like wound up like scapegoating the Q&A staff, and then they did like a bunch of stupid, shitty denials, and it's like just excuse making. It's like, oh, I see why this game was rushed and why there's bad management decisions. The people handling the crisis now are the dumbasses who put things into that situation in the first place, who were like totally out of touch with their own dev team about what the state of the game was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and also like the more you play the game, the more just it's not just buggy, it's broken. Like there's a lot of stuff in the game that you think are glitches, but no, it's just how the game works. The AI is broken all hell, the combat system is broken all hell, and it's not anything to do with bugs. And a lot of it is stuff that can't really be patched. You'd have to like gut the systems of the game and start over in order to fix a lot of the problems that are in the game. The game is almost completely linear. There's only like two or three parts in the game where you can actually make choices that affect the ending. There's like nothing fucking matters. Like it's not a problem if they make a linear action game that's in an open world setting, but they kind of promised in the marketing relentlessly that there'd be like player choice would matter and stuff, and it's just I was hoping like for like something kind of like Fallout New Vegas, you know, like an evolution of Fallout New Vegas or something. And I was really looking forward to that, but it didn't even remotely come close. Like it's just linear, and it's just like these pre-scripted action scenes and stuff. It fucking sucks. Also, like here's the other thing: like in the apology video, they made false claims again about like the game's car ambushes. There are no car ambushes in the game, but they made in the apology video. No, not the apology. It wasn't the apology video. It was the apology. It was like the responding to the Bloomberg article from Schreier. Okay, Google, stop. All right, we're almost just about ready. So I want to guesstimate. These are going to be 30-second poses, so we're going to be getting a lot of these done. That means we need at least 40 poses to go through. So I need to find out how many images these are. We need at least 40 images here for this set. So I'm going to try exporting this. If we're a little bit short, then I'll fill it out with some images from one of the other sets. So let's see. We'll mix one. Has to be at least 40 images in there. Let's see. Okay. Saving this, I'll export this, then we'll do a quick like run it through a gesture drawing app to see what the image count is. So it'll tell me right here when I select the folder. Yeah, I saw a really good. Somebody said I saw a really good documentary about the CD Projekt Red situation called "Overcompromise Selling Under." Yeah, that is Krobcat's video, the legendary Krobcat, who has made amazing videos about that. Some of the videos I've watched some of the videos that he excerpts in there. And one of the ones that I strongly recommend is, here, I'll put it on screen for you. I can't play it, but this guy is really good. And this is it's by Beat 'em Ups, CD Projekt, Cyberpunk 2077. The CD Projekt Red are all liars. He's even got a funny music video at the end of the thing that is really good. And this is just fantastic, and he does a great job of taking apart the fact that this game has problems in it that can't be patched. Like there's like so many shitty design decisions. Like the game is, as we learned also, the game really didn't start in development until about 2 years ago. I'll link it in you can watch this at your leisure later. But as we learned, like the game didn't really start development until about 2 years ago. And so yeah, they basically took the E3 demo and they filled in a game around it, basically. And they rushed. They were pressured and rushed to rush it as quickly as possible. Even though the devs were apparently screaming at the higher ups, no, this isn't going to work and stuff. And the higher ups were like, oh, it's okay, it'll be CD Projekt Red magic. Well, that CD Projekt Red magic is developer magic shit. Is what happens when you have competent people working in a shitty system. They make up for the bad organizational planning of management, And then eventually those people who knew how to navigate that stuff, at some point they leave because they get sick of things. They get sick of making up for management mistakes. So when they leave, you have a bunch of junior people in who don't know how to make up for the management mistakes. And then you wind up with something like what happened with Cyberpunk, because a lot of senior people left that project over time. There's a lot of like ex-Witcher 3 people who left a while ago before they really ramped up working on Cyberpunk in the last 2 years too. That's why the magic didn't come together for this. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. Bring the Woo mix. No images. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't export them yet. So export all images. It's sad that New Vegas is 10 years old and nothing is yet to pass it in storytelling and player choice. Yeah, and Obsidian did that in like a few months or something. Yeah, we got 75 images. That's good. That's good. You know what? I'm gonna yoink some more. Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just use this. So we're gonna go at 30 seconds. And a custom, let's see here. What do I say? There's a settings menu thing. Oh, here it is. Turn off shuffle images. And let's see, class, relax, practice. There we go, practice. All right, so it's going to be 30-second poses. But let me do a quick demonstration. I'm gonna bring an image up from Pinterest to show you what it is we're doing in kind of in slow-mo. Let's see here. Like this lady's a pretty good image right here, but maybe find one with a full body actually. Okay, this lady works. Right, so this is going to be a quick demonstration of the full technique that we're going to be doing this evening. Warm-ups. So we're building off of what we did with the action study stuff. So what I want you to do, take a pen or like a pencil or something with that's a light color, so that you're going to be able to draw on top of with a darker color at some point. What I want you doing, and you might want to draw fairly small, especially if you're doing this traditionally, so you have less surface area to cover in order to draw this. Draw these, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using some of the, you're going to be trying to make an abstract shape that describes the figure. Kind of like this. Actually, I have a page that I can show of of this technique that we did yesterday. So you want to make like an abstract shape, abstract simple shape that kind of contains the figure as a single unit, almost. Like this is even more complicated maybe than I should probably go with this. Like, let's see here. And we're only going to be doing these in about 30 seconds. But yeah, this is an example of it. And then we're going to be doing like a set of like like non-random poses so that we can go back in with another dark color like black, for example. And then we go on a separate layer. And we do like a quick 30-second figure using the shape that we did as like something to kind of riff off of. And of course we're allowed to cartoonify what we're doing too. It's not going to be perfect figures. It should be like really simple. Simple and cartooned, even. Something like that. You only have 30 seconds to do these, so you can't be precious with your drawings. You have to move from one to the next for each of the phases. Like it's going to be like 30 seconds for the shape, 30 seconds for the lines on the second phase. So let me show you what we actually did yesterday, which was basically the prep for this. I'll bring up the actual document. So this is what I did for mine. We did one session that looked like this. And then we did one session that looked about like this. Of the same poses in a linear set. And if you notice on these, you're allowed to like kind of cartoonify and play them up, like push them beyond what you're saying. I'm going to be trying to work on that this evening. Like pushing and cartoonifying things a bit. You're kind of developing a sense of shorthand for being able to like get attitude into a pose like this, for example. Get like the weight and the lean of the figure. You're trying to get something that where the sense of weight to it, the sense of form, and the sense of like attitude and acting is pushed and stylized. So I'll upload this to chat. I think I got 2 separate images of it. Yeah, I'll upload this to chat, and I'll actually put maybe like a zoom in of this image on the upper right to like remind people what we're doing. But here, we're going to be doing a set of these in a sec. We're going to be doing about 4 figures are in set. Wow, thank you for MosoBot64 for subscribing and continuing your 2-month subs. Anyway, so side grade study sesh. I have to get the shrink ones. Where are the shrink ones? I think those are them. All right, so they should both be uploading to chat now. This is based on like Pixar figure drawing trainers teacher Alex Wu's schoolism class, which we're kind of like using as fodder on my off days. We're just kind of going through the materials together and stuff. But I would recommend if you want to watch his videos, you sign up for schoolism for $30 a month, or if you feel like getting the whole thing for $300 a year, you can do that, I guess. But yeah, this is basically we're going through week by week through the subject matter of his gesture drawing class together, and we do this. We're going to be doing like the next phase next week, which we'll be doing next Tuesday, is silhouette drawing. But we'll be doing more of this on Friday this week also, and some more of this tomorrow in the Discord, but not on stream. So I'm going to put an image of this up in the upper right here. Let me just open that real fast so that people have that on screen to orient folks in what we're doing. It's better if you actually find examples of his work, like if you do a search for Alex Wu on like Google or something and find some images that he actually did of this technique or other things. But because he does it better than I do. But this is essentially the technique. I'm gonna beef this actually here. Let's beef that up really huge. So I'm gonna upload this later, so I'll just have that as like a single image for one of the uploads. This one's not like the best example of this technique. Example. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with you can pick any color, any bright color that you can easily draw on top of, like neon green, for example. Maybe even pick a variety of different colors for it if you like. I don't know, but we're going to be doing these really fast, so you're going to want to keep a good rhythm going without breaking your momentum. But the phase we're working on right now, actually I should be putting that on screen up there because we're not doing the yeah, I'll put this one on screen instead. We're not doing the linear stuff right now. We're doing the shape stuff first for the first set. Whoops. There it is. Where's my fucking mouse? Okay, there it is there, and then it should be over there. Fucking. All right, I'm not looking at OTV. Sorry about this, folks. I had a little bit of technical difficulties there for a second. All right, I'll just zoom it in a little bit just so we can see enough of it. All right, so we're gonna get started on a set of 20-minute. 20 minutes. Is it 20 minutes? I think so. Yeah, 20 minutes. So this is going to be a whopping 40 figures that you're going to draw on the page. So we're going to maybe maybe we'll stick with one session for this today, but we'll see how it goes, if we can do two. But the first phase is going to be 20 minutes for 40 poses, 30-second poses, quick abstract shapes. Second phase will be another 20 minutes, same poses, same order. And this time you like draw like cartoonified, exaggerated figures on top of them. Anyway, so okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes, starting now.
All right, whoops, sorry. Okay, Google, add 30 seconds to 20-minute timer.
Done. 30 seconds added to your 20-minute timer. You've got 20 minutes and 25 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm just get a little bit of buffer time there. So for this technique, you're gonna want to really abstract stuff. Let's see if I can get all this choked up on the page here. You're gonna want to look for like big containing shapes that can unify what you're drawing. Sort of botched that first one, but if you botch something, it's okay, just keep moving on. We'll have another chance to, you'll have plenty of other chances to get it right with more iterations on the same idea this session. And we'll be also practicing this again on Friday. If you miss a pose, it's not the end of the world, but be aware you're going to have a little bit of dead space when you come back to doing these. But you need like big, simple shapes. If you get caught up in detail, you're going to lose. You're going to lose time. I would even suggest like doing a lineup. I'm actually drawing a little bit large here. Shrink these a bit. That leaves me with barely any time, so I'm gonna have to make do. So this guy, you can actually simplify like really basic like this. You're looking for like big, simple shapes. And it can take some adjustment before you start like seeing them. In this case we got two figures. Just pick one of the two, I would say, because we only have 30 seconds to do this. Yeah, try to turn like the pose that you're seeing into a simple abstract shape if you can. Look for some kind of a way to describe it as a symbol. So this is really a powerful technique. Its power doesn't become more apparent until you go to the second phase, usually, though. But the simpler and more abstract you get with these, the better results you often get. So I'm actually going more detailed than I should on this guy. The goal is to find ways to exaggerate and play with what you're drawing too. So again, when you get multiple poses like this, pick one of the two. So in this case, I'm going to go like really abstract with this guy, like. His body's like kind of a brick wall, almost. I actually don't even want to do that. That's too much detail for this. I'm gonna maybe want to adjust these a bit for later, because they're a little bit close to the upper drawing there. Try to leave yourself enough space if you need to draw some extra limb stuff or heads and so on and later on. So in this case, like the legs are pretty widely separated on here, so I'm decided I could do them as one big abstract shape, but I'm gonna decide to do this instead. Like the point of this technique is also to force you into quick decision making. Like I'm not as good at it as like Alex Wu or other more experienced animation figure drawing artists are. Whoops. But we'll have plenty of time to keep trying this technique more and getting more mileage in it. But I used to do this in my figure drawing classes too, like this exact technique. The ones that I took when I was in school and also when I was working in the industry. So this is kind of a return to old territory for me. So I'm going to make that one big shape later. Let's move over here for this guy. But see, like, you don't need to add in a huge amount of detail. You can do something like this. Also, like, I'm keeping in mind that I can add in the sword later. Oh, also, like, a thing that I mentioned last week is, since we are looking at, like, Pixar, a Pixar figure artist's training regimen for our understanding of the figure right now, I have been using the phrase Terry time. It's Terry from the Pixar movie Soul that just came out recently, and it's really fucking good too. Terry is one of the abstract muses who's like kind of like guardian angels of souls or something like that, and he's this very kind of abstract character, like 2D animated character, a 2D flat kind of Picasso-looking 2D animated character in 3D space, basically. And he basically is kind of like an application of a lot of the figure drawing principles and cartooning principles that animators learn, and that, of course, certainly by extension, that they actually teach at Pixar to their animators and their artists. And if you aren't able to get the whole figure down, just get what you can. It's going to be time to add in more detail to the figure. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 9 minutes and 24 seconds left.
We're halfway done. I may have to make a separate sheet. This one's more detailed than I should have gone, actually. Yeah, Alex Wu does this technique better than I do. I'm gonna maybe take a look at his videos again tomorrow. Kind of get more of a cue. To work off of. Yeah, like look for like look for ways you can kind of like contain the pose. Like, let's see here. Just kind of use the area of the arms there to sort of get the overall shape of the body, kind of. This guy is very weighty. That axe is very important for the acting, so I'm adding in some detail for it. Every time. So this guy is if you want to simplify this guy's basically just guy's an umbrella with legs. I'm gonna do something funny with him when I come back to him, just because I put these stupid little feet on him. So remember, when we come back to these, we're not doing exact versions of the figure. We're trying to like get the idea of the figure, but we're doing our own cartoonified take on it. So like, your approach can be really abstract. Like, it can be as abstract as this thing that I just made, for example. I need a new sheet. Let's do that. You'll really start to surprise yourself with like how quickly you can get these down once you start like keying into how abstract you can get with them too. So I'm not fully warmed up with the technique yet, or I'd be drawing even simpler than how I am, but look for like big containing shapes. I think I went a little bit too detailed in that. It's because I was too high to the top of the page for that one. So like this, for example, you just get like the thrust of the body, basically, and then maybe like add in like this little kind of triangle form intersecting here for the limbs or what have you. And these are great to do with clothed figures because you can just use like the clothing as a containing mass. You want to think every time you're drawing one of these about what the pose is doing, by the way. You'll have more time to really think about that during the next pass. Right now, this is like your quick first impression. And like part of the work will be done for you when you come back to these, of like the overall containment of the figure. It gives you a little play space to kind of riff a quick cartoon design, basically. This is almost like parallel. I'm just going to do like a perfect parallel straight there. Oops. Like, even if you're only able to spend about like 10 seconds on a pose, if you're able to get it down, then you're good. If you're able to get down the big containing shapes, then you're good. This one can be a vignette because it's just the legs. Actually, I can just do this. I'm drawing really big, bigger than I should. So I'll shrink that a bit. Some of these figures start looking like Adventure Time characters, and they should. Adventure Time is such a deceptively simple art style. Like, if you really look at it, like the amount of like expressiveness that goes into it, it's a lot more than it looks like it is at first glance. Okay, we'll pause it on this lady here. I'll give people a little extra time to get this lady in. This lady will be our end point pose for the set when we go back to it. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, and that's starting now.
Alright, so feel free to post what you've got so far in chat. Yeah, that lady's way too big. I'm gonna shrink her too. So get your workspace prepped for the next set. You're not gonna, well, depending on how dark you drew them, you're gonna lower opacity. If you notice them, like some of these kind of like, if some of these start looking almost like kind of Samurai Jack characters and stuff, and that's good. That's what you want out of this. You want like very kind of abstract, cartoony. Sometimes in some cases like you can kind of feel out the figure a little bit, but they should kind of. Some of them should like turn into very abstract shapes, like this one, for example, right here. This one's way too vague right here, but I will be able to, like, even the ones where you don't quite get it, like, that's the point of the next phase. The next phase is, and I've just got a report from one of my housemates, my brother actually, that there's a teriyaki chicken bowl waiting for me, so I'm going to go grab that. You guys sit tight and enjoy yourselves. We'll be doing the same set of poses again. Let me just see if it'll actually let us do it. Here, let me try rewinding it, actually. That might work. Then I don't have to restart. So let's see, what pose did we start with? We started with... Let's keep going back. Perfect. That's what we started with. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go grab my nosh. Be right back. Alright, I'm back with my teriyaki chicken bowl. So let's take a look at what people have done so far. Oh, very nice. This is a really fun technique because even for people who are like very new to figure drawing, you can get some very interesting results. Zav, you're gonna have to. I mean, these are great, Zav, but this is more like Zav. You're doing more like silhouette drawing right now, and you need to dial it back to be more abstract. But that's okay. We'll have another opportunity to practice this stuff, either this session or tomorrow or on Friday. But let's take a look at Zav's. Zav is a really, really good artist. He's one of my regulars here. But they have a hard time turning off the overly anatomical part of their brain. And I want to see them push things in a more abstract, expressive direction. Like, these looked way too much like drawn out figures than you should be. These look like what we're going to be doing next week. These are closer to the silhouette pose drawings that we're going to be doing. What you want to be getting out of this, though, is you want something that's kind of uses the same principles or similar principles as the Chinese cuneiform line of action poses, but fill out an area. Because these are like too specific. You don't have quite as much to play with these when you do the next phase on them, sadly. Like there's not as much room on these to play with pushing the pose. I mean, you can, but yeah, this is kind of jumping ahead in what we're going to be doing. Let me see if I can maybe find some examples from people who've done this exercise. Alex Wu, gesture, shape. And those are a little bit too specific, but here's the line of action thing. Here we go. This is somebody who did it. Okay, Google, stop. Here's someone who did it and actually did what I think is a really excellent job of these really, really abstract shapes. Somebody else who did the homework here. You can get a better zoom in on this. But you can see for these, like, look at these shapes are like really abstract. Some cases they like omit the head, or they like fill in the area between the legs of the limbs to kind of contain the area and stuff. Like that's what you want to that's what you want to shoot for with the first phase in this. And so when the power of doing that lets you play with pushing the pose more. Like you can really, really push and emphasize things. Like really, really push push the tilt of the hips to like a more cartooned and exaggerated distortions, and get more like oomph behind them.
Please open the previous one with the runner.
The what?
The previous one that is above of the list that you were scrolling. No, in the Google search.
Oh.
Yeah, above.
Runner.
Yeah, you'll see. That's pointed towards the camera.
Well, if you search for Alex, if you do a Google image search for Alex Hoover gesture, maybe you can find it for me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of eating while trying to do this at the same time, so my brains are poopy. Oh, here's the homework assignment that he gives people in the class, which is you take existing stills from films or photos or art or animation, and then you try to find the big shape, the big abstract shapes like this. The whole point of doing this is to try to contain the figure as a single unit that can then be exaggerated. So the figure feels like a big cohesive unit that you can play with. But here's actually what we're going to be doing next week, which is actually closer to what Zav is doing right now. And this is the silhouette approach right here, and this is closer to what Zav is doing right there. But that's for next week. This is almost kind of a prep for that week, because when we get to the silhouettes, we'll have a much better sense of how to like unify the silhouette. So I wouldn't say what Zav is doing is bad practice. Not at all. These are great silhouettes drawing. It's just not. This isn't quite what we're focusing on for today. That's no big deal. At least you got really good silhouette practice. But yeah, if we do another set of these, just keep that in mind, Zav. Try to turn off the I have to draw anatomy, I have to draw specific limbs part of your brain, and turn on the abstract shape forms part of your brain to like find clever ways to turn these characters into kind of like modernist sort of designs, basically, that you can then play with. So, oh, that's really nice. So some of these aren't probably the best balanced, I would say, but like these are some really interesting attempts. I think that some of these go a little bit too specific. Some of them fall into the same problems that I was describing with Zav, where they tried to be too much like a figure and not enough like a containing shape. Of course, I'm guilty of doing somewhat similar thing too. This is a hard exercise to switch gears into. But we'll be doing more of this practice tomorrow. And just trying to get an overview of how everyone got this. We'll be practicing this some more tomorrow and also on Friday. We'll also probably get like a few sets of this on Saturday if I can manage it outside of the storyboard class homework critique or something, because it's good to just keep the figure drawing practice going. Where is my artist glove? We're gonna do the next set shortly. I just have to hit the restroom and grab a sip of water, and then we'll get started. Make sure I throw this out. So. There you go. I'll be right back, and then we'll get started on the next set. Like I said, though, if you really want to see how the technique is done right, well, let's say that. I mean, there's different ways to do it. I don't think there's any really one right way to do it. You can add more detail or less detail in the figures sometimes, and it'll be fine. But if you want to see like a better overall approach for someone who's done this for a while, you should definitely check out the Alex Wu video for the courses and stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna get started. Grab your dark line you can draw over the figures with. But we will get started in 30 seconds. Okay, Google, set timer for 30 seconds.
30 seconds, starting now.
I'm giving everyone time to get back. Here, 1 second. There we go. I'm just messing with my little toggles. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
Done. 20 minutes and 30 seconds added to your timer.
There we go. Let's go. So, for these, you're going cartoony. You want to really push things beyond what you're seeing. Get a little shorthand facial expression into the character and stuff too. It's okay if you don't get the whole figure down too. Part of the point of this exercise is to, well, first off, it's to develop a sense of being able to like see the figure in terms of an abstract symbol that you can play with and translate into different things, so you don't have to be so literal with it, and so you can push the pose beyond what you're seeing. The other part of it is you want to get like you want to develop the ability to play with what you're looking at, like stuff that isn't like exact to what's happening, that kind of riffs on it and gets some more more energy in acting than what you're seeing up there. Like if you really get into this technique, you can start getting like pretty emotionally worked up doing it, and the characters you start doing start looking more expressive. And they start looking like thumbnails of poses for a storyboard, which is, of course, one of the goals of doing this. And as you do these, start thinking about ways, like if you start running into problems with these, like start thinking about ways you might abstract the figure differently the next time you do another phase of this. Sometimes you have to walk through a chess match, losing the battle, in order to understand how to think a few moves ahead. And it applies to art too. Sometimes you have to walk through things to see, oh, that's where it's going. If I do this. So here's an example of a pose that I set things up on where I knew I'd be able to do this on it. Add a head into the space I made for myself here. and add more containing shapes, interior containing shapes for the arms. These are only 30-second poses, so you only have so much time to get to like throw down this information. It's okay to be crude. You're just trying to get an idea down quickly. And if you think that this is too crude, I'll be showing examples of where why this technique is important and where this technique is headed after we get done here with this set, because this builds into, well, it builds into the stuff we're doing next week, which of course then builds into the stuff we're doing after that. And what we're building into is we're building into the ability to make storytelling poses where we invent characters and scenes and little kind of shorthand character models that we can use for the figure drawing session. And that stuff is really fun to get into, but you kind of have to work up to it. You see an opportunity to add like a facial expression to something, a quick shorthand facial expression, go for it. Remember, these are like these are thumbnail cartoons that are kind of quickly describe the body and the posture that you're trying to, and the idea you're trying to communicate. You should be trying to communicate an idea with these. That means you can do really silly things like what I'm doing right here, where I go beyond what the pose is doing a little bit. Like a really goony face. So I think I actually originally drew the pose on the left here, but now that I'm looking at it again, I really like the pose on the right more, so I kind of pushed it more there, because he's kind of like crouching in anticipation of what he's gonna do with that sword. I think we may actually do, for the next set after this, we might do a longer pose version, like a 1-minute version of this. I think that would be a good idea, because you can do like what, like 1 or 2, sometimes even 5-minute versions of this exercise. I've done those before. I think a few examples of them are actually in my portfolio. But warming up to the technique with this like kind of forces you, like this way of like forcing you to think and act really quickly and get really abstract with it. Just scribble down an idea really fast, vomit your first impression of the idea on page as quickly as possible. That's another point of doing this exercise, especially at this pace. So when you're a storyboard artist, you need to learn how to work like really, really fast and get like meaningful poses down quickly. So set myself up here. I got the outer edge of the leg there, so I don't really need to draw the exterior if I don't need to. If I don't want to, I can add it now. Like. These are pretty brutally fast, aren't they? So yeah, I definitely think we should do a 1-minute version of this. Maybe we might even do like a 2-minute version of it too. Like do 1s for part of a session, do 2s for the latter half of a sesh. Something. So the other thing that this is teaching people about in doing this technique is how to work through your art in phases. Because like we concentrated just on the overall abstract shape for the first phase. And now we're riffing on that, and that's what we're concentrating on. To get like some quick shorthand poses of the figures. Oh, it's this lady. There she is. And the other thing this is an opportunity for is it's an opportunity for you to start to develop your approach to shorthand. Because there isn't enough time for you to get into detail. You've got to figure out shortcuts that'll let you convey information quickly. Watching Alex Wu draw will give you some hints how to approach that shorthand. But there's a lot of you find a lot of especially if you look for Pixar figure drawing or something on YouTube, you can find lots of videos of people who've attended Pixar drawing classes and stuff, who filmed themselves drawing. You can pick up some ideas for stuff. So there's this guy right here. I really wanted to exaggerate him. Turn him into more of a character. Make this guy a little goofier than his reference, because I'm trying to just riff quickly at what I think is amusing about the image for me. Change. New page, new page. Ooh. Actually, I may want to zoom out for these because then I can have more control over larger area. Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot more control when you zoom out. You're supposed to do these small, by the way. So if you haven't zoomed out already, do that, because I was kind of like handicapping myself on that last page, not in hindsight, by drawing way too big. Because you can see the overall figure easier, and your marks have more, your individual marks have more meaning when you're pulled back like this. You should have a light touch while you're doing these. Like, you shouldn't be putting a lot of pressure on your wrist. You want to be drawing with your shoulder at all times. Love this guy. This guy just screams character. Right here. I don't know what this is from. This might be like a cosplayer or something. But it's a great picture. Remember, there's enough time to be fancy with your drawings. You gotta record your impression of whatever it is you're trying to say with it really fast. Yeah, I think we'll do another set after this. It'll be 1 minute and maybe some 2s, for sure. I'm gonna go even more cartoony than the art that I'm referencing here is, if I can. FYI, this literally is a technique you can use in making your storyboards, by the way. starting with an abstract quick shape and then drawing a figure into it. You will actually physically see basically versions of this technique in like TV and film. I was actually looking at some Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles boards that used basically this technique like a couple days ago. Also, you're not a slave to your abstract shape. You can go beyond it a bit. The abstract shape is there to help you contain the pose and give you something to riff off of. This is a rapid-fire riffing exercise, basically. Riffing and quick observation exercise. I'll be recording an idea quickly. So we got 2 more poses. Boy. We can pause on this lady here. Let's maybe use this as an opportunity to slow down a bit. Okay, Google, stop. And this will be a little bit closer to how we'll draw for the 1-minute poses. I think 30 seconds was maybe a little bit too long, too short. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm pretty sure that Oxwu had people drawing it with like 30 seconds a pose, but I think I may have been off, and he might have been having them do 1-minute poses. But in the video demonstration. But in any case, that was a very brutal. If I'm correct about that, then basically we did like I've done like the 30-second version of this before. But we basically did like the hard mode warm up for this. So yeah, post them if you got them. Even though you did like these really quickly, there should be a kind of a nice impression of quite a lot of them. Like it really challenges you to think and act quickly. Like there's no time to be precious with your drawings with these. You only got 30 seconds to get the pose down, so you've got to inherently push things and like rhythmically go from thing to thing to say something quickly. So in this case, like you can pretty much tell what these figures are doing, and that's a sign of a successful page. Some of these early on, when I was getting warmed up, were a little bit more vague. But you can see as I go down the sheet and like settle into the method some more, it starts getting a little better. So this is like the stronger, for me, this is the stronger of the 2 pages right here. So anyway, I'm gonna so get your pages ready. We're gonna do another set in about 7 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer 7 minutes.
7 minutes, and we're starting now.
So, yeah. I'll put it on ones. And since we have more of a buffer zone with the poses we can use, I can put it to where we left off, which is this lady here. And just give you a quick preview of where we're going with this. Let's just see how far it goes before it loops back around. Oh yeah, we got plenty to work with. This is easily enough. We'll only need about 20 poses, I think, for this set. So that's going to be plenty time. And you have more time to slow down and think for these. So let's leave that on her. So I'm going to encourage people to get up, shake your arm out, walk around, get some water, hydrate, get your blood going a bit. Because we're going to be doing one more set. It'll be a set of 20 poses doing the shapes, and then a set of 20 poses, the same poses, of course, doing the line draw over. Time as it is. Cool. So we get another hour of this. So I wanted people to bring hold on to those character drawings that suggested people bring. We're probably not going to get to it today, but hold on to them. We might try some of it out tomorrow in the Discord. And also, if you really want to, maybe try turning the poses into the character, if you like. Use some kind of a shorthand approach to it or something. But tomorrow, I definitely want to see if we can try practicing a little bit of that. Like converting these into characters or something, existing characters. And we'll hopefully get into some of that a little bit on Friday too. All right, I'm gonna get some water. Back. It's going to be a little bit of a traffic noise for a bit, so I'm going to hear out the room. I'll close it before we start the set. So how's everyone liking the technique so far? 30 seconds was really brutal. It was brutal for me because I had to do it. I had to do it while juggling anything I was doing on the stream too. Yeah, it's brutal, but it's fun. Because you have to make quick decisions quickly. Yeah, that's the point of it. It's to train your observation skills. Part of the homework for this that Alex Wu assigns is you're supposed to do cafe sketching of like people in real life around you and stuff. And you can only do those. You have to do those. You have to inherently do those really quickly. But yeah, I think I will actually assign the homework for this. If you are able to get some kind of equivalent of cafe sketching, of like, you know, drawing people on TV, for example, might work, or something, or people around you. It's kind of hard to do it right now with COVID. But get some kind of, this is totally optional to do the homework. Get some cafe sketching in throughout the week in your sketchbook. And also find a bunch of images of photos and animated shows and stuff like that. And then do draw-overs to try to find the big abstract containing shape. Not the silhouette, but the abstract containing shape. So let's maybe import an image here. And then I can show an example of what I'm talking about. So this lady here, we'll just do a quick demonstration using her. Take her, put her here. But what you kind of want out of doing a draw over study, you can do this on animated shows and on photos and live action and everything else. But like, for example, like this lady right here, try to like look at her, think about it for a minute, and then like think what would be like the big abstract containing shape of this pose. Maybe not even that. Maybe like this. Then you could potentially like, you could potentially do this, like that. And then we don't need her anymore, do we? Because we're just going to be exaggerating with this. But you can do this a bunch. Let's look for a quick way to get the cartoon figure in there. Something simple. Okay, Google, stop. Something like that. But yeah, you look for the containing shape in a bunch of photo reference and stuff. Let's put this in here. Quick demo. Just organizing this real quick. So 1.2. Save backup. And we'll get started in okay, Google, set timer for 30 seconds.
30 seconds, starting now.
So when the timer starts, when the timer beeps, we will get started on the next set. I'm gonna shift it to the next photo. You can loosen up your hand, and I won't hold it against you if you start doing a cheaty starting drawing on this. Remember, you have a full minute to digest these poses this time. So slow down. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're starting now.
So we have a total of 20 poses we're doing. And we have time to really look, observe, and think. Like, what's the abstract shape that we can turn this into? Like, will you separate the legs? Will you keep the legs together? How much of the pose can you include or exclude into the abstract shape to contain it? It's up to you. Actually may subtract some stuff here too. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm ready for the next pose now. I think 45 seconds would actually be better than a minute for these, but we'll just keep going with a minute. All right, so look at that. Like, already we can like simplify this into just one big shape. I'm not including the back arm there. Actually I might, because like she has that kind of triangle containment area for the hair. Actually, no, there's more I can do with this, like the feeling of the thrust of her chest being thrust up from that back leg that's planted back down there. So this guy, I'm going to zoom back a bit actually. Let's make sure I'm drawing a little bit smaller now. So I decided I'm gonna include some of the head on this one, but the overall sweep of the body is what I want. I want that hunch of the shoulder, sweep of the body. And then I can include a little bit of the impression of like the lean of the limb there, and I'm good. I can feel that now. That's my shape. So pick one of the two poses. Let's see, I'm going to pick the one on the left, I think. So let's see, what's the overall shape I could go for with this guy? Maybe something like this, and get really abstract with it. Zoom back a bit, because I'm making the mistake of trying to draw too big, and then I don't get as much control over the image. There we go. So this one I don't think was very successful because the decision to fill in that area kind of threw it off. This one is okay. That one's good. That one's good. Like you, I'm adjusting to the 30-second period I have to do these in. So in this case, this figure is like a vignette. So I am going to include both the legs here and separate them. But I'm going to still keep them very simple and very abstract, relatively speaking. Kind of goes off the page, but that's okay. So for this guy, he's got a great kind of lean to his body here. I'm going to separate his legs. And include a little bit of impression of his limbs. And that's good. That's my abstract shape for that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. And I drew the last two a little bit big, so I might want to shrink these actually. Hopefully I can fit everything onto the single page. Let's maybe shrink these all of these even more. That's a very interesting picture. You can already see like a little bit of how you might want to abstract it. Use that big containing shape. Of the cloak. Sword seems pretty important, so I'm going to include a bit of it. There I am, drawing too big again. Gotta be careful about that. I'll zoom in even more. Actually, the way I'm supposed to be doing this technique is I'm not supposed to be using the paint fill tool. I'm supposed to be sketching these in, filling these in like this without using the paint fill tool. So I'm going to try to shift to that for a little while. We'll skip this one. Those ones were too like cropped to be too terribly usable. Okay, so do a fill on this one though. This isn't enough time for me to scribble it in. I'm gonna have to adapt back into scribbling out the thing instead of using the fill bucket, but I'll keep using the fill bucket a little bit more from now. Let's try it here. I need that overall abstract shape of this figure. I won't separate the legs on this one. There we go. I think that gives me enough of a play space to use later. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we were past the halfway point. I'm gonna have to close the window in a little bit. The room's plenty aired out now, so now we're just getting annoying background noise of airplanes and traffic. I'll go do that. We got 2 figures here. I think there's easily enough time to capture them both in a minute. As long as you don't overcomplicate things. I might want to move this though. That's good enough. Definitely a lot of attitude in this pose. That's this lady again. Now I get to take another crack at her. I don't think we're too far off from the last pose here. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. I think 3 more poses. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-minus 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
So, yeah. Technically, this is the last... Well, yeah, technically this is the last pose. So pick one of the attitude poses from here and do it. This is a great page to practice from, by the way, I would say. Very clear attitudes, very clear acting, very clean silhouettes. There we go. I'll just pause it on this. Because maybe you can spend, if you want to, you can spend a little more time on this page. But yeah. That's our second set. So get your drawing pads prepped. We are going to, after the timer finishes counting down, we are going to set another 7-minute timer. Then we'll do a, actually let's make it like a, yeah, let's do an 8-minute break. And then we will do our last set on these for the evening. So I really enjoyed playing Jackbox games last Monday with y'all. I definitely want to do more of that. Let's maybe see if we can aim for doing that, a little bit of that on Saturday. Maybe Friday, but we'll see. Or we can just play it for fun tomorrow or something, sometime during the day, just to mess around. Tonight I'm a little bit sleepy deepy, so I'm gonna be going get some rest after this. Well, this was originally taught to me when I... Okay, Google, stop. Well, this was originally taught to me when I was in animation school, and also when I was in the industry and I was taking art classes. But I've sort of gotten back in touch with it because I've been following Alex Wu's gesture drawing class on Schoolism. Ooh, wow! I'm getting a stomachache. Ooh. I hope I don't have to cut out early because of a stomachache. Okay, I'm good. But we'll see. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna set the... I'm actually gonna make the break 10 minutes. And then when I get back, we will do our last set. Okay, Google, set timer 10 minutes.
And we're starting now.
Alright. up. So I think the best place to look that I've seen, but why we're doing this and where it's heading. Like I said earlier, there's a bunch of Pixar people that have posted like their participation in figure drawing classes at Pixar. Oh, well, there's mine that shows up right there. But yeah, let's see here. More of my videos are starting to show up in these. Well, it's probably just because of me. It's probably just like tailoring the algorithm to me or whatever. Pixar gesture. Here we go. Pixar gesture drawing class. There's a few videos like this. Some by this guy, and a few others by others, and so on. So yes, this right here, this video that I'm showing right here is where the stuff that we're doing here is heading. Like quick storytelling, character drawings. I think he was actually trying to do Samurai Jack this, but very clearly, like they were like there's like a samurai theme figure model is coming from this off camera this class session. But he used that as basically like you can see like he's using like he's basically like using a lot of like the abstract painting shape ideas, the line of action ideas. He's doing these really quickly and expressively, and you know, he's trying to make really quick decisions and stuff. I don't know how long they did for these. These might have been like 1 minute poses. This could even potentially be 30-second poses. I think they're 1 minute poses, but and they look really good. So I think these might be 30-second poses. But yeah, like this is where. Oh, you can't hear me. The music is. Wow, you're right. The music is overpowering the mic. What the hell? Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened with the audio there. Let me. Yeah, the audio shouldn't have been cranked up that much. So anyway, what I was trying to say is, so this video right here. This video right here is an example of like where this stuff is heading. Like this is these are like really so you can if you watch how he's drawing, I think these are either 30-second or a minute poses. I think they're 30-second poses because he's doing them really quickly and he's kind of running them on into each other and stuff, and he's just doing them really quickly with it. You know, so he's working like in a cheap Sharpie kind of pen and stuff for these. He's doing like them really fast. But like this kind of stuff is what we're going to be getting into in about in a few weeks. We might dip our toes into it a little bit before then too, like on Friday or tomorrow a bit too. But basically you have like a certain character kind of in mind, and you keep doing different interpretive poses of the character for a figure model session. And this integrates like a lot of the stuff that we've been practicing. Like last week, you can see some of the line of action stuff in it. There's stuff about like the containing shape sort of thing that we're doing today in these. Like you can see that in this. Like there's like this describes a containing shape right here, even though he didn't actually draw the containing shape. Like it's in the back of his head because he's practiced this method. Like this guy is probably taking Alex Wu's classes. And where's I can find my other artist club? There it is. All right, I'm ready to go. And we'll get started on our last set. Stick around after the class too, by the way, because I want to actually share some interesting things I've found that you guys might dig. We'll check out some videos of some things after class. Just chatting segment. It's art related and also a little bit of tech related stuff. Some interesting happenings in tech that would be relevant to us as digital artists. So we're going to rewind our pose lineup. Back. Yeah, here's our first pose. Cool. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
20 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's starting now.
So thank you, the 23 of you who've stuck around to the end. We are on our last set. Oh, wow. Hang on one sec. I think I actually lost power on my headphones. That's why I can't hear shit. Sucks. Quick do-over. Okay, Google, add 30 seconds to timer.
Done. 30 seconds added to your 20-minute and 30-second timer. You've got 20 minutes and 18 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that volume issue. It's really strange. Anyway, so yeah, now I can actually start. I did not leave myself a huge amount of space to do this, did I? It's like I can't really fit the antlers in there. But there is enough time to play with the figure. Remember, it's not a race. Like, you want to get like a few ideas in. You don't even have to necessarily draw the whole figure. Just using this first pose as a way to kind of establish how I'm going to approach doing these. Remember, you're recording your cartoon impression of these figures. So you should feel free to exaggerate, distort, play with stuff. Utilize some of your own instinctive cartooning skills into these a bit. The ultimate goal with these should be, you should try to key into a kind of a performative mindset. Like, you want to be thinking about the acting and the action. Making these into characters and stuff. And interpreting them in your own way. You're not copying them, you are riffing on them. Create something of your own. And since we have a full minute to do these, we've got easily enough time to make some fun decisions compared to that brutal 30-second one that we did. I think 1 minute is definitely the sweet spot for these. And you can just use like quick shorthand facial expressions and stuff. Just get like the barest idea stuff down. This is not unlike how you'd be drawing your shorthand for like quick thumbnail poses for a storyboard. The purpose of thumbnail poses is to get the idea down quickly and expressively. Then you can elaborate on the idea and define it better when you take the thumbnail pose and you work it out into a more worked out pose. Like I said, actually, when we get done here, I'm going to show you some examples of basically like how this technique gets integrated into doing actual storyboard stuff. Like there's specifically some Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles boards I'm thinking of that I was looking at the other day that basically utilize this technique. You can also find like examples of like where this kind of stuff would apply in spades if you're looking at like Pixar storyboards and animatics also. So we're going to take a look at a couple of those, I think, after class, in addition to some other things. When we do that, I'll be restarting the stream. And I'll probably go to like just chatting mode or something. Or we can keep it in art. In this case, I really pushed this guy's expression. Kind of has like a slightly Rincewind vibe from if anyone knows the Discworld novel series. So I pushed him in that direction a little bit with his goofy layabout expression. So I like the way that I drew the boots the first time, so I'm going to stick with that overall shape a little bit. This technique, by the way, is a great way to discover characters through discover and develop your character designs. We'll be getting more into that too in future weeks as well, when we start integrating what we're doing here in with like the Saturday storyboard class more. This is almost kind of like prep and warm up, giving people the tools to get more effective drawing and thumbnailing in their storyboarding. Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to like just jump right in and just like attack the idea when you're thumbnailing like this. You want to, if you're doing this digitally, you want to like get a pen that's kind of has like the effect of drawing with like a big thick Sharpie. This guy's kind of giving me some good cues that I would definitely love to riff on for a character, for coming up with a character, for sure. I always love it when there's cool, like, medieval fantasy cosplayers that basically create Dungeons and Dragons characters in real life for you to kind of... Oh, we skipped that one. Oh yeah, that reminds me. When I saw this guy, I'm thinking, maybe I should make tomorrow pirate themed for when we're in the Discord. So like, if people come around tomorrow, I'm gonna see if I can find a lot of pirate images. And I might put on a bunch of pirate shanty music for us to do like a pirate themed session tomorrow. Yo-ho yar. If people are down with that. We'll do it in my Discord. It's not going to be in my Twitch. And if you are If you haven't joined the Discord, type !Discord and you'll get an invite link in the Twitch. Any newcomers who've wandered in and are curious about the classes that I teach. On that note, I wonder how I can get more people to engage with this class in the future. I'm gonna keep doing my own thing. It's like I'm doing these classes like actually mainly for me. Like I'm doing these like mainly as like a way to practice and keep myself on the regular. And make sure I stick to it. Because doing it around other people, like I have a hard time doing stuff for myself, but when I'm doing it around other people or for other people, it's a lot more fun for me, and I feel a lot more obligated to do it. And that's one of the many reasons why I started doing these classes. Other reasons are the best way to learn is to try to teach. So I'm going through like Alex Wu's gesture drawing course, trying to like regurgitate his methods for people here. So I learn them and you guys get a taste of them. And from the perspective of somebody who might have a little bit more insight into this stuff than you coming into it. Yeah, when you really start getting into this technique, and we're going to be doing this more. We'll do this more tomorrow. We'll do this more Friday, and we'll probably do more Saturday and possibly Sunday. When you start really getting into this technique, like I said, it really becomes like very performance oriented. Like you start becoming emotional about the characters that you're drawing. Start getting into their shoes, and you start acting with your pencil. That's one of the eventual goals that we're working towards, by the way. Like these drawing sessions will start to basically become like acting sessions for us. Acting and storytelling sessions. I noticed somebody posted a big post in Twitch. I'll answer it shortly. I just want to finish this drawing here. The crude way I'm drawing right now is not unlike some of the storyboarding thumbnails you'll see like Pixar folks do and stuff. Like it's okay to do like these like kind of really rough, loose, crude things, and like get an idea down quickly. What are these two ladies fighting over? It looks like one of them's clutching a purse. I mean, I presume it's like maybe like a spy movie moment or something, where like they just like you use the fencing weapons. They're both fencing experts, and there's two conveniently placed fencing swords near them in the movie's plot. Yeah. Anyone else get a spy movie vibe from the two fencing ladies from the last one? In this case, I've like really pushed her facial expression to be even more pissed. Pushing the hair in front of the face a bit. Equilibrium? The movie, yeah. How many more poses we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Not too much. Not too far from finishing. So I have actually several things to share after we get done here that are going to be handy for going into next week. We're actually going to look at some of them tomorrow a bit more. But they're all to do with storyboarding stuff. So when I get done here, I want to see if anyone's active to raid. After we check out some of the stuff I wanted to show people. So make sure you stick around to the end. Let's try to see if we can raid someone. After we check out a couple of the video things that I wanted to share with people. I won't keep people here too long. Well, there's that, and I wanted to like share some of these study materials that I've got. There's a couple of PDFs. In addition, I mean, obviously, like, most people here know about the Fluby newbie stuff by now, but there's also some PDFs that from some free Gumroads that are one of them is by someone that I know. There's a Nickelodeon storyboard artist. They're both free PDFs on storyboarding, and one of the two, the dude that I know also has a also has a video on Storyboard Pro shortcutting workflow basics. There's also someone else that I'm going to be studying more extensively as far as how Toon Boom Harmony stuff goes, because I'm going to be using I'm going to be making some, like, as a side project, I'm going to be making some Harmony puppets of like Astropug and Spacedad to use as like stream mascot characters, and I wanted to update my knowledge of the new Harmony workflow stuff while doing that. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to show is one of the new... Oh, we are done, actually. That was the last pose. don't like your face, the way I did her face. Let's try, maybe. More cartoony like that. Proportions of her arms are kind of wonky for me too. So and you're free to get messy with this technique if you want to. It doesn't have to all be clean lines. Okay, Google, stop. So yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it? On this page, you guys technically drew 40 poses. On these 2 pages here, I'm going to mishmash them because there's like 2 layers, but I did them on. You technically drew about 80 poses. I mean, when you went over the pose the second time, that's doubling up the pose mileage. So just to recap, we did about, I mean, it's like 1 minute warm-up, so it was about like 20, it's close to 20 poses for the warm-ups. We did 40 poses twice, so 80 poses for this page and this page in total. And then on this page, we did another 40 poses. So this crazy shorthand technique is just exposed to a lot of people here who haven't been exposed to different ways that people can be posed out and stuff, and different attitudes and different postures and things like that. This gave you like over 100 poses, well over 100 poses of mileage today. My math brain is not working so good, so let's total that up real quick. So 20 plus 40 plus, no, 20 plus 80 plus 40. That's 140 poses that you guys did this evening. Just to put that into perspective. So you guys should be proud of what you did this evening. So the stuff I wanted, the materials I wanted to share with you guys, and and also feel free to post in the Discord. I'll take a peek at what results people's have gotten. But I'm gonna upload both of them, but you should also check out their Gumroads. I think there's here they both are. I think What Borden is the one that's by Nick, who's the guy that I know from Twitter. Obviously from Twitter and Twitch. Who's a Nickelodeon veteran. Currently working there, by the way, as a storyboard artist. You see if he's on right now. If he's on, then we'll definitely raid him. I'm just gonna go down the list and see who's active right now to raid. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's active right now. That sucks. But if you want to see his, let's see here, his live streams. That's his Discord, by the way. This is Z Birdbrain. It's Discord right here. They're also worth joining and checking out. And I'll show her YouTube videos, and you can find the Discord link through there later. But let's see here. Yeah, Nick Mundo, here's his Twitch page. Right here. But he's got, yeah, he's got this video right here. He actually talks about how to storyboard. So definitely watch this. I'll link this in chat for you. But he made one of the 2 PDFs I just uploaded to the Drawing Corner chat. There he is. I'm gonna also post this in let's see, I'll post this in storyboarding homework shares. Well, no, actually I shouldn't put that there. This is for the homework shares section, for when you do the storyboard homework. But let's see here: art, animation, art drawing, art animation, storyboarding. There we go. Oh, here's their Gumroads right here. I'll just copy paste them real quick. Well, you should be able to find them. Just go to the storyboarding section. This is the Gumroads of the 2 people there. This lady also has a free texture pack and I guess a little design template thingy there. This is a texture brush pack for Storyboard Pro. I actually might want to get a hold of that for tomorrow. Download this before I forget. It's free, or you can donate if you want to give them support and money. There we go. I'll be able to import that later. So let's see here. Yeah, he's got some $1 and $2 thingies. Some of his art. He has a really well cultivated for TV animation shorthand approach to drawing, and a very simple way of coloring, and like he's got simple rules for like what areas he chooses to darken in. I'm hoping to absorb more from him in the future, so I can like his streams are really fun because he's really good at just like making cute, quick, fun, charming drawings, and he keeps his skills sharp. Like I eventually hope I can evolve into running streams a little bit like how he does with like he did like his silly version of character from I forget the name of the series, but if most people who know the series know what this is, that he did a cartoon drawing of. But yeah, really fun. I like how he does like a lot of character drawings and stuff, and I want to do some more of that in the future when I get more comfortable with stuff. But yeah, in addition to this, let's see. So oh yeah, Z-Bird Brain. I'll link this in chat for you. She has a lot of amazing guides on Harmony, and they actually dropped by our chat yesterday to tell people which of the videos people should start with. So if you scroll up further to where she was in the chat, see if we can find her. It's way earlier in the day. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, she was yeah, she suggested she had a bunch of like suggested videos to start with and stuff that are more up to date. So definitely check those out. She's currently working on the Laxadaisy pilot. She's like been putting like a lot of, she's got like these amazing interviews and stuff. Like hardly anyone watches her channel right now, and there really should be way more people watching it because she's got a lot. She's been putting out a lot of great content here, and there's amazing stuff. So feel free to spread the word about her because she's got lots of good shit. She puts a lot of effort into these really well put together tutorial videos and stuff. So yeah, definitely check her out. Is she streaming right now? Let's see who is streaming on here. I clicked Lego. Yeah, well. Let's see if there's anybody I know that's actually streaming right now that I could probably raid. Maybe not. Oh, straight chat. This is Chet. This is one of the writers from Half-Life. He's playing Team Fortress 2 right now. We'll actually raid him. I played Deep Rock Galactic with him the other day. So yeah, we'll raid him. But I was going to stick around a little bit more and share some videos, but I think we should probably cut it short here. Meet up tomorrow. Meet up tomorrow and we'll do a bunch of cool shit. Oh yeah, I wanted to take a quick peek at what people have done in the chat, in the drawing corner. Let's see. Let's just take a glance. I'm not going to be able to give too much critique. I just want to get like an overview. Showcase people's lovelies that they did. Yeah, I see a lot of people adjusting to the technique. And I can progressively see people like starting to get more used to it and stuff. And trying their own adaptive approaches to it. It's going to be interesting because I want people to keep doing this technique some more, like throughout this week. We'll be doing some more with it tomorrow. And on Friday. And hopefully Saturday, Sunday too. But yeah. It's good shit. So yeah, we'll meet up again tomorrow. I will announce if I'm on earlier in the day, but we will definitely also meet up tomorrow in this Discord at 5:30 p.m. For a timed pose session. But we might meet before then to chill and hang out and also like go over some studies, material stuff, and chatter and whatnot. So the tech news I wanted to mention is there's a bunch of new GPUs that have just been announced that are relevant to us artists, including the 3070 Ti, which is a $600 GPU that will be filling in an interesting niche in the market. And also a bunch of laptops are now a lot cheaper and actually worth buying because desktops are more expensive now for a change of pace. But anyway, we are going to raid chat right now, so I'm gonna put in the raid notice for it. Raid chat. So thank you all for coming, folks. Everyone sign on to the raid. Everyone sign on to the raid who's still here. It's only 18 of you, but everyone sign on. So let's see here. Congratulations. 13 people. Very nice. I'm going to be raiding as soon as the video ends. So sign on to the raid, sign on to the raid, quick. Get in. Or you can just pop over physically to the channel. It's a straight chat. Raiding. Nah.